Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Ben Jones, Senior Index Strategist with Nasdaq Index Research, to discuss the tech leaders sector indexes as well as performance trends in energy and industrials. Ben, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks. And let's take a look at your first couple of slides here. Give us an overview of the methodology and suite that encompasses the tech leaders index.
For sure. So these indexes are used to track the different industries and track the momentum within the space, and more importantly, give investors a way of accessing the strongest high momentum names in these 9 sectors. And you can see in front of you the sectors that are covered, ranging from base materials to energy, financials, all the way down to utilities. And you're able to pick up on some interesting themes when you track the performance of these indexes, because you're able to see which ones are experiencing the most momentum, which ones are experiencing the most of the upside. And it's important, I think, for investors to be aware of these. And again, there's a whole suite of ETFs that track these indexes that are available at Invesco. So let's look at the methodology real quick, because this is important. The reason why I wanted to bring your attention to these indexes today is because they're able to cast a wide net within each respective sector by pulling from stocks that are labeled both as small cap as well as large cap. So not only are you able to pick up on some of these performance trends from a sector standpoint, right? You're also able to do it from a size standpoint. So, starting with this methodology, you're pulling from a universe of about 2,000 of the largest stocks in the U.S. market that are in the Nasdaq U.S. Benchmark Index. We screen for sector classification, there's some liquidity screening, but more importantly, there's a relative strength or momentum screen, right? So these indexes are going to be picking the strongest names, those names with the most momentum within each sector. So it could be, those names that have the most momentum that are typically small cap or mid cap or all three. And so we've seen some interesting themes emerge because of the dynamic nature of these indexes recently.
And Ben, let's take a look at the energy and industrial sector. Certainly some momentum there as well.
Yeah, so if we look at these two sectors, energy and then basic materials, we see that these were two sectors that really weren't performing well last year. That really struggled on a relative basis. But if we look at 2021, the tables turn. We can see right now energy is up over 35% this year. Base materials up over 21%. And if you compare it to the broad market benchmarks, they're outperforming. You can see it's outperforming the Nasdaq Composite as well as the Russell 2000. And I think that's important because those indexes, the benchmark indexes, do have a strong, a high sample size or exposure rather to that small cap space. So some of these performance trends that we're seeing in these two sectors today, or at least these two indexes rather, is because of the strong momentum within the small cap size. Also from the value space. So the energy index is almost 2/3 value, right? So it's not a growth play. We see about over 40% in small cap value in the energy index. So we've seen some strong performance there. Base materials is up about right around maybe 60% small cap. So that's an important story here. An important part of the narrative in these two sector momentum indexes is that they benefited from the rally across small cap as well as the rally across that value spectrum.
All right, Ben, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.